What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite for a second video here for you guys tonight, talking about the news a lot of you have probably been waiting for in regards to Alejandro, Valeria, and even Alex. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a bit of an update to the member screen at the end of all of my videos, that has now been updated to reflect all current members for my 3 tiers. That's of course Shadow Company, Ghost Team, and Task Force 141. I do apologize that it took a little long to get that screen updated, but I do promise it'll be updated a lot more frequently going forward. And I do have even more membership benefits that are going to be announced really soon that you don't want to miss out on. So once again, appreciate all you guys out there that do support the channel. It really means the world. But as of yesterday, while I was streaming, the new Ghost bundle did end up releasing, known as the Bone Chiller Tracer Pack. It does feature the skin for Ghost known as the Gilded Reaper. Again, the first way to actually play as Ghost if you don't own the Vault Edition, which came with that Red Team 141 pack. We also have blueprints for the M4 and the Tempest Torrent, our brand new marksman rifle here in COD 2.0. Both those weapons are phenomenal, and the tracers are also really damn fascinating and a bit surprising to me, right? It's actually the Ghost logo that will pop out of the death effect, which is crazy. We also have a finishing move. We have a Golden Jaw weapon charm, a Ghost decal, again, the Ghost icon from COD 2013, which is wild, an animated emblem, and even a loading screen. I do have a Ghost-centric video that I do have planned for tomorrow night, and I do think this bundle is teasing something that you probably didn't think about, but we'll get more into that in a separate video, of course. Now, earlier this afternoon, data miners have found references to Alejandro, Valeria, and even Alex as upcoming operators for Modern Warfare 2 and even Warzone. These references were found after this week's mid-season 2 update. No release date or which season they'll be included in has been confirmed as of yet. That was reported by Charlie Intel just a couple of hours ago, time of recording this. So with that, I can't show the audio on screen for obvious copyright reasons, but it's very easy to find, and I might have a link to that down below in this video's description. But the audio lines for Valeria and Alex do sound complete, which means they're probably farther in production and are likely going to be operators featured in bundles or a battle pass at some point in season 3. However, the voice lines for Alejandro aren't complete and were recorded by text-to-speech, which means that the lines are scripted and Alejandro is 100% planned as an operator, but the actor hasn't himself gone into the studio yet to record those lines. That's probably a reference to him being an operator in season 4, something that is in pre-production but not that far into production, where he's coming out relatively soon. So some estimates that were written in the replies of this tweet. Again, this is coming from CODsploits over on Telegram. His Twitter accounts where he was posting all this leaked information did get taken down, but I'm sure the usual suspects like CODsploits will end up putting out a lot of these leaks on new Twitter accounts over the next couple of weeks. People are guessing that Valeria will be the season 3 battle pass operator, while Alex could be the free operator that gets released when the 3rd episode of Raids comes out in the mid season 3 update. And they'll likely also end up doing Raid Bundle season 3, which features another Alex skin. That's probably what's going to happen with those two characters. But then we have Alejandro, who might just be the battle pass operator for season 4. Those are reasonable guesses, but if that's the case, right, and we get big operator releases like Valeria and Alejandro via battle passes, then it kind of makes you wonder why seasons 1 and 2 had filler operators as the battle pass characters for that season, right? Season 1 had Zeus, a character that isn't really relevant to the post-launch story, right? The post-launch story is just being told through raids and a pinch of DMZ, not so much multiplayer and Warzone. Even though everything is connected, Zeus really isn't all that important. And then season 2 gave us Ronin, who was an operator in Modern Warfare 19, but he also hasn't really played a role at all in the post-launch story. So it kind of feels like seasons 1 and 2 in terms of multiplayer and Warzone and the battle pass were kind of just there as content, but not necessarily tied into the narrative that's being told through the other game modes like Raids and DMZ. But if they're going to be adding Valeria and Alejandro, then I'd expect some cinematic presence from them, because obviously season 1 and 2 had cutscenes that were tied to just the Warzone maps. The first one was for Al Mazrah, the second one was for Ashika Island, but those cutscenes weren't really connected to the raid cutscenes at all. So I'm really curious if seasons 3 and 4 cutscenes that might feature Valeria and Alejandro respectively are going to be tied to what's going on in those raids, or if that's going to be like a separate story being told that's happening alongside what's also going on in raids right now. It'd be cool if they had 2 stories going side by side. There was a lot of potential for that, at least in my opinion, during the season 1 window of the game, where you're like, all right, maybe they could tell a story through Warzone multiplayer and a separate story through Raids DMZ, and then maybe deeper into the game's life cycle, those stories could interconnect. That would have been a cool idea. Now also be sure to hit up COD Peter over on Twitter if you're looking for some assistance with camo grinding in COD 2.0, whether it's Polyatomic or Orion. His link is of course down below in this video's description. Now the thing is, I think that'll really hype people up, even though you might not agree with that, and again, respectfully criticize all that down below in the comments. I do think it'll hype people up by season 3 to be like, all right, here are the characters you've been waiting to play as, right? Valeria, all the Sims are gonna go after her. We have Alejandro, possibly Alex. If everybody out there sees announcements about that, that might help a little bit with the fact that season 3 might only be be seeing 2 original 6v6 maps or just 2 6v6 maps altogether. We don't know if they're even original. We know that Season 3 was originally going to have 3 6v6 maps. One of those got pulled forward, which is MWII Expo, and got released just a couple of days ago with the mid-Season 2 update. And the fact we also know that apparently another Warzone map isn't coming until Season 4, then they gotta add in something spicy to really build up even more momentum and hype for Season 3. And I think something as simple as operator packs or unlock challenges for these characters could be quite a bit to really help out with plans out there that aren't happy with the game right now. Now, as much as I like MWII Expo, I knew this was coming, right? There are gonna be some folks out there who already don't like the map, they claim it's too big, or they just don't see it as quote-unquote content. They feel like we're still catching up and that this map should have been added during Season 1 or something, since Season 1 only had 2 remasters. I think reasonably you'd probably have to end up seeing a season drop with like 3 to 5 6v6 maps. I know that's never going to happen, but I think unless they do that, people out there on the multiplayer side of things might not feel like the game is up to par with how previous CODs worked in terms of what DLC maps those games got. People out there want to see even more original maps added in, and Modern Warfare 2 is just getting around to that. So hopefully for the remainder of this game's life cycle, we don't see any more 6v6 maps that are pulled from Al Mazrah or Las Almas. It's just not something that people out there want to see, but drop maps like that in between filler periods, right, in between major content updates, when there's a drought of communication or a drought of actual new content. That's when you drop content like that, but don't market a new season around regions that are already existing in other parts of the game. Now, something I also want to address that I find fairly funny, and be respectful down below in the comments if you disagree with this, but I always find it interesting how anytime I talk about a bundle or any type of cosmetic in COD 2.0 or even older games, people are quick to be like, DK, that's not content, nobody cares about cosmetics in a first-person game, you know, especially operators. And I get where you're coming from. I respect that point of view, but I feel like those are the same people who also constantly comment, where's our bundles for Task Force 141? The alternate weapon is team, but you can't even play as that team, right? What's going on? Why can't we play as the main characters of Modern Warfare 2? It's always funny to see comments like that, and it's a bit hypocritical from that point of view, but here's the thing, right? When it comes to the operators here in COD 2.0, I feel like it's an awesome idea to introduce free methods in unlocking our main characters by beating raids, then offering a bundle for that character that you can buy separately. But the thing is, right, it feels like the game didn't really launch in terms of operators with our main crew that we're supposed to care so much about, and the characters that we did come to really care about after beating the campaign. The campaign was so solid for this game, but it just feels like the post-launch window has been fairly disconnected from the momentum and hype that was built with the launch and the story itself that got told through that, what, 6-7 hour campaign. It's been a bit odd to see, especially when you look at Season 1 and 2 that gave us these filler operators that aren't really that relevant, but it feels like now they're kind of catching up to where we all thought we were going to be by Season 1, which is releasing these big fan favorite characters straight away via missions or battle passes or bundles, whatever the case is. Now, I personally care more about actual blueprints and tracer rounds more than operator skins. That's just me, I guess, considering it's a first-person game, but I do think it was a bit silly we had to wait this long to finally get our main crew added in as playable operators, and I do understand people's frustration with having to buy the Vault Edition to have been playing as Ghost, Soap, Farah, and Price. I do get where you guys are coming from with that, trust me. But with that being said, at least this is good news for those out there that really wanted to play as these characters. Now, something I also wanted to address is when you go to the operator selection menu, you could actually see some unreleased and unannounced skins for Price, Farah, and even Gaz. We don't have any extra skins here for Ghost or even Soap, but it does look like there are some color palette swaps with some of these characters' outfits that are similar to skins that already exist for them via the raid or another bundle. So I'm curious if this does mean we're going to end up getting a Task Force 141 operator pack, which would inevitably sell like hotcakes, right? If they charge, what, 1,800 or 2,400 COD points for a pack of just 141 operator skins and maybe a couple blueprints or small cosmetics, I think everybody out there be interested in that, and it's probably a missed opportunity not to do a pack like that. So unless these skins that are being seen here at the menu are for some unannounced unlock challenges or some other future bundles, and I do think that this could be a hint we're going to get a Task Force 141 pack by the beginning of Season 3. And I also want to say as a reminder, although I do like the foundation of Modern Warfare 2, I like a lot about Warzone 2.0, although I do like and enjoy covering COD 2.0, there are some things that could be done a bit better, and I'm always very vocal about about that in a constructive way. There's ways to provide criticism without being condescending and toxic towards developers and burning bridges that I think a lot of people in the community haven't really begun to understand yet, right? They expect maybe some YouTube videos to feature creators going off for 8 to 12 minutes, being really rude and swearing about what's wrong with the game, and you might feel that way, sure, but that's just not the way I run my business or make my content. But I especially provide a lot of criticism for what could be done better about Call of Duty on my podcast I do every Friday, right? I save a lot of that ranting for a 2-hour show instead of cramming that into a 10 to 14 minute video that I post here on the channel every day. But I'll also give thoughts live while I'm streaming some gameplay with you guys out there too. So hopefully that makes sense for those out there that might be wondering, hey DK, are you gonna address this or address that might be broken within the game itself? But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the news regarding Alejandro, Valeria, and even Alex as playable operators at some point in a future update? Let me know what you think down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.